Please don't use AD blockers, please, please. They are not that bad, I swear. Please just use movies or deal with watching the ads. I know we don't pay attention and just let any ad be.
You sneak across the border, be prepared to be sent home. Attack law enforcement, get ready to stare down both barrels. And stand with radical Islam, and you can Allah Akbar your butt back to the Middle East. I'm Jay Mitchell. I love Jesus Christ and the great state of Alabama.
Jay Mitchell for Alabama.
All this weird stuff comes to me, I'm not even trying. I can't help but be drawn by random weird shit that I desperately want to freaking rail on, and the fact that it's election season in the hard incestual South. I have been plagued with nothing but these awful, abhorrent campaign ads for about 3 months now, and it's been so agonizingly painful. I can make an entire bingo card for this shit. Goes on a whole spill about the illegals.
Love Latina.
High crime rate and whatnot. Must be the liberals. The woke is destroying us from the inside. And they would go on about stuff that's not even actually affecting Alabama because they have absolutely no self-awareness. How to make a campaign for the modern day. Give an exaggerated number of what you're going to be able to provide without real sources listing of what you're able to do. Throw in how the liberals make everything worse. You just bootlick Trump and say how much of a fan of Trump they are. We need strong, tough Trump fanboys like this to make our life better. We need Trump. I love Trump. I love Trump so much and I want him to notice me and invite me to the island. I love him so much. Please, please, oh, please, please, assault me. I love him. He didn't touch those kids, but he touched my heart. Like, seriously, what is Trump tough? This is tough for you? The word conservative is the only thing that they think matters? Bitch, what the fuck? And go on this, conservatives aren't capable of evil. It's all the liberals, because your politics determine your quality of a person. Because something hive mind, no matter what you do, you're evil for having any shared traits on that side. Bonus points if they're a veteran, and go on an entire sob story about their life and what their time in the military and everything they've done for this country, but then proceed to not really have any actual plan at all or any idea of what they're doing, or say important things and essentially threaten people that you promised to protect, and show that you're a weak, biased piece of shit that wants to use brute force and violence to do away with everyone you disagree with. But if you dare question or insult our patriots, then you're the asshole. No, we're all missing the real issue, though, that the smallest population of trans people are all secretly sneaking into school locker rooms. I guess if it was a little boy, it'd be fine if a man was in a changing room with him, right? Good thing lesbians don't exist. That, or also leeching off of topics on the news, which do not affect Alabama at all. Ooh, there's random pop-up occurrences of a single person or a handful of people committing crimes in the name of their religion. Oops, how'd that get it there? Now let's use this as a way to attack everyone else that also happens to be a Muslim but isn't actually related to this at all. I don't want to be one of those guys that says, oh, they said this, so they must also mean this. Because they do at least say people that are radicalizing. If you're gonna single out a specific group and try to argue that X is the reason for the amount of crimes in a context of wanting to get in a position to impose power against those that share the same similar beliefs as X, it's pretty much dead giveaway that you don't actually want the better of society as a whole. They just really like to tie in Sharia law, even though it has no effect on the actual religion of Islam besides the corrupt powers that abuse it and its people in the Middle East. And shockingly, if you take that religion out of that area and say move it to Alabama, then they don't actually do an evil, violent, disgusting shit that is done in the Middle East, and all focus on the actual good, positive stuff that for some reason people really like to ignore. In fact, the conflict that they face is usually targeted towards them. But we're not going to call out radical Christians now, are we? I actually only knew a little bit about Islam before this video, assuming it being the same beats as Christianity or other Middle Eastern religions, but after looking into it, I'm kind of shocked that Islam actually had some practices for pushing women's rights and ability to be an individual. So now I'm just confused with how completely backwards the Middle East is currently. This verse alone makes Sharia law not compatible with actual Islam. What are these idiots talking about? Crazy how we can throw in things like Sharia law and constantly bring up the awful stuff about, say, Islam, but when it comes to Christianity, we can all forget that it also comes from the Middle East. It's practically identical with the evil stuff it has from Islam as well, and that if our founding fathers didn't have enough foresight to separate church from state, then we'd be pretty much identical to the Middle East. You know what, even then, we're not so different from Middle East after all. Gosh, it's really sad how radicalized Christianity has become in America by these fake performative weirdos making actual normal Christians look bad. Just straight up just use their religion to push people to vote for them. Because they're good, God-fearing Christians, and if you don't agree with them, then you're basically not agreeing with God. And the person we're looking at today does not shy away from giving a loud, noticeable performance such as Jay Mitchell. And why is he so special above them all? It's literally just because of that. It's mainly because of that, because it caught me so off guard. Like, yeah, plenty of these idiots have also said something important, but what makes this goober stand out so much is he's just the epitome of these fake, bigoted, manipulative, out of touch, blah, blah. Hold on, let me look at some more buzzwords to throw around to make fun of him so you'll agree. Because buzzwords is how we make a really good point instead of actually explaining in detail all the issues of something specifically. Let's see, what other buzzwords can I throw in? Dumbass. He's just this out-of-touch, peaked in high school weirdo who is very arrogant. You can tell by the way he talks, the way he poses himself. He's so up his own ass. He's a man-child who just really wants to have control and power over people. And it definitely shows when he started as an associate justice of the Supreme Court, because he had a whole thing against IVF and actively pushed to eliminate it. If you don't know what IVF is basically two babies. Okay, no, it's a bit more detailed than that. It's basically for getting down to business issues. It also allows same-sex couples to be able to have children as well. And it's just something that's beneficial to everyone in general. But of course, beneficial for everyone is something Jay Mitchell can't stand. Now, to be fair, initially, you can kind of agree with him, and his original reasoning was because the embryos are living. You gotta be careful with that. And for half of it, you can kind of sympathize with that. It probably costs a hell lot of taking care of those embryos. You'd want to be careful. You can see some reasoning for that. However, that very much wasn't the case at all, because he just actively wanted to criminalize the people over formless, suspended blobs with absolutely no intelligence, sentience, or personality. And this caused several issues for IVF parents to actually be able to have a kid because of how insanely strict he made it for people who are IVF parents, causing this to be temporarily stopped altogether because everyone working on this were terrified they were going to get sued and fucking arrested. Again, over an unformed blob. Literally, the governor herself had to sign a bill to make sure that this dumbass right here, with his weird moral superiority complex, but now he is gunning for Attorney General. I think how he did the IVF thing, it can definitely show how the rest of this is going to go down if he gets all that power and authority. Specifically from the authorities. You see, the police love Jay Mitchell because Jay Mitchell is such this important figure that he needs to be constantly protected and surrounded by these armed men. He looks like such a goober. This isn't tough at all. Try to photo shoot to look tough. Or also shove their family in, which is something I really hate that these politicians do, is that they try to be, I'm so relatable, I got a family, guys, and it's so weird to use your family as a prop to gain political power, as you also push for these absolutely heinous things that now they're stapled to, and it's so disgusting too, because they're children. They don't have any thoughts outside of what you tell them. They have no idea about anything aside from the stuff you try to make them biased towards, and it's so freaking manipulative and evil. It's so disgusting. But he is basically endorsed by several, actually, they're pretty much all, it's all police. They're all police chiefs and sheriffs. And the reason for that is Jay Mitchell stands very proudly against putting good cops in jail. Like Officer Mack, who and several other cops went to detain a man who was being aggressive about having his car repossessed. And he surrendered and had his hands in the air, which is when Mac dumped into him and shot him 18 times. Also, the man they were arresting didn't have bullets, so he actually wasn't going to be a threat at all. He was bluffing the whole time, so he was going to surrender. Yes, that guy was in the wrong, but who fires 18 shots into a person that's surrendering? Someone who's a ticking time bomb. But his real magnum opus of good cops that he goes on and on trying to defend is Cody Smith, which he got in a heated argument with against another person that was gunning for Attorney General, who was the one that prosecuted Cody, Catherine Roberts. She was also another candidate for one of these garbage ads I was going to show. But honestly, there's not much to say. It speaks for itself.
People ask why I'm running. It's simple. Radical left is pushing to destroy girls' sports and letting boys into their locker rooms. It's insane. I'm Catherine Robertson. I will stand with President Trump.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, you know, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Basically, those two made out or fought or whatever the fuck these weirdos do. I don't know. Jay went on to how the justice system failed Cody after Cody recounted his brave story of how he turned off his body cam to go stop and feel up on Greg Gunn. Greg Gunn was on his way home while black. And the brave Cody Smith had orders to stop anything that moves. And so he went up and peeled up on Gunn and thought he felt a gun, which was actually Greg Gunn's phone. And then Gunn proceeded to run away and then grab a metal pole to try and fight Cody. Expertly dodged all of his attacks and was able to fight him on the ground where he had to wrestle for his gun. And then in the end, he shot Gunn, defending himself and the rest of this neighborhood from what evils Greg Gunn would have done walking while black. Yeah, except that wasn't what happened at all, because when they went to pick up Gunn's corpse, it's grasping a hat. Not only that, that pole that he said Gunn was swinging at him had no fingerprints, wasn't even used. But what was used was Cody's baton. Gunn also has a massive laceration on the back of his skull, to which Cody then began changing the story again and again, lying. Oh, can you tell I'm genuinely pissed by the sentence? Yeah, I am. Hey, remember that whole shit earlier about the embryos and stuff? Cop does everything right, you know, except for fucking lying, except for lying several times over. But no, the Montgomery Police Department had caught the blue flu, and now Montgomery is a war zone from the radical woke left. Montgomery has a population of almost 200,000, and only in 2025 there have been 61 homicides. In fact, homicides and crime happened less in Montgomery between strangers and more between altercations with people that already know each other. It's not really as violent war zone. It's just over-exaggerated for the sake of pushing for this heavy overlook of cops, quote-unquote, doing their job. But of course, I also want to say that there are good police officers, and I don't want to obviously bash police officers in general. But if you got your sheriff and police chiefs praising people like this, and openly endorsing these blatantly prejudiced people that are even demonizing each other by claiming that they're something that they actively want to eliminate, then this should concern you. You think it'd be really sad and concerning because all these people are loving and eating up everything he says. To be fair, these people have their actual lives and are concerned about themselves, so again, that's fine. That's no big deal. But from how proud and loud Jay is normally, with what he throws around in his ads, I have no doubt that he throws around the same stuff in person. So actually, no, I don't agree at all. Actually do some research. Just look it up. It's not that hard. This stuff has not been hard to find at all. Like the thing, nobody actually likes him. For one, he even gets dogged on by his Facebook. And not only that, his ads on YouTube. And that ad would be a video, correct? And that video would be on a channel. And that video happens to have 3 million views. Who actively looks for a campaign video from some random nobody in the South? I can guarantee you all these people are from Alabama that have seen this video. And it does not have a lot of likes, but it is filled with comments absolutely desecrating the guy. And it's so nice. It's so nice to see that there are actually like normal people in Alabama that actually can see straight through crap like this. It's reassuring seeing all this hate towards the hate is beating it down, and people are actually coming together. And that's the real beauty of it all.
6'7", 6'7", 6'7", 6'7".